Tick-tock, Mr. Wick. So John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is directed by Stahelski and stars Keanu Reeves as super assassin John Wick, who is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild inside of the grounds of the Continental Hotel, and with a 40 million price tag on his head. He is a target of hitmen and women all across the globe. So to kick things off, I really like the John Wick movies. You can see John Wick 1 and 2 there. I'm a big fan of this franchise because it's the perfect example of the little movie that could. You know, everybody was kind of down on the first John Wick when it was kind of coming out. Nobody knew what to expect from it. Everyone thought this was going to be another generic action movie starring a generic action star like Keanu Reeves. But that movie really transcended the action genre. It really took that genre and put it into a new light where we really got to see how, you know, the action and choreography can really elevate these kind of films to a whole new level. And it was something that, you know, especially Western audiences had not really experienced before, and it was just a crazy film that took the world by storm, and it caused us to get the awesome, equally awesome John Wick Chapter 2, and now has led us to this point with John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. So the man himself, Keanu Reeves, does return as John Wick in this movie, and he is once again awesome. I mean, he doesn't get that many lines in this movie, as he typically does not in these films. He's obviously a very quiet character, but, you know, when he is there, he does sell the performance, and best of all, he sells the action scenes. Like, this is what this movie is all about. That's what this franchise is all about. It's all about the action, and Keanu Reeves being, you know, kind of a stunt guy himself, learning all the stuff he learned while doing the Matrix movies, perfectly blend in to John Wick, and seeing how he really handles these action sequences. He does like most of the stunts himself as well, bearing in mind the guy's in his late 50s or early 50s, so, you know, he's getting on a bit and he's still doing these stunts by himself. It's very impressive, very admirable, and again, he completely sells it. He's a complete badass in this movie, as he always has been. There's nothing less that you would expect from Mr. Reeves. Also, another standout performance in this movie is Halle Berry. She is awesome in this movie. If you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff for this film where she's been training, you will see that she has really put a lot of time and effort into becoming her character for this film, and it pays off big time. My favorite action sequence in this entire film is one you would have seen in the trailer with Halle Berry and her dogs. It's an amazing scene, so well done, so entertaining, so fresh, and so unique. And also, I just really enjoyed Halle Berry's character in this movie. There's a kind of unexpected turn with her that I didn't really see coming, and she's not in the movie as much as you might think she is, but when she is there, she does leave a goddamn good impression. And wow, the cinematography in this movie is absolutely lovely to look at. It's one of those movies that you just sit back and just kind of get lost in with its world and its camera shots, because it's just a beautiful film with so many artwork level pieces. You know, John Wick Chapter 2 really had this as well, where you really got to see just how beautiful some of these shots were, and John Wick Chapter 3 is exactly the same, especially when you're in New York and you have all these, you know, bright neon lights, and especially when you're in Times Square at the beginning of the movie. It just looks stunning, and it's a complete credit to Chad Stahelski and also the cinematographer for this film for crafting some of these wonderful shots. And that blends into the visual style of this movie, which has a very kind of neo-noir feel to it, which I also, again, adding that on with the cinematography, it just makes this movie a really nice watch. And as I mentioned earlier, the action and choreography is once again top-notch for this film. You know, the John Wick franchise literally shows the top tier kind of stunt choreography that we can get from a Western movie, because it's so well done. It's so believable. It's violent. It's hard hitting. This is definitely the most violent John Wick movie for sure. I feel like they turned up the violence for this one, because it really was the most violent John Wick movie for sure. But it's just so hard hitting. It's so realistic. It's so grounded. And again, it really hits you as well. And you really feel the punches and the gunshots. And that's exactly what you want from a movie like this. Now, this movie is not perfect. I do have some issues with it. For one, even though I mentioned how great the action was, I feel like this movie may have overstepped the line. I think like this movie may have had slightly too much action, which I know might be a bit of a superfluous complaint given the fact that this is a John Wick movie and it's all about the action. But this movie is kind of, especially when you get into the very last couple of fights between kind of the main kind of antagonists of the movie, it kind of gets to the point where your body and your mind is kind of numbed by the action. It's not as effective as it was at the beginning of the film, and you're kind of getting used to and getting slightly bored of the consistent action. Especially the last couple of action scenes, I really felt like went on way too long, and I feel like this movie probably could have shaved off about 10 minutes if it would have cut down on some of the action towards the end, because again, it wasn't particularly innovative, it wasn't particularly original, it was kind of fighting that we'd seen before, so when it goes on for a really extended period of time, it kind of becomes a tad boring. Also, I wasn't a fan of the pacing in this movie either. The pacing was kind of off for me. It kind of goes from incredibly fast-paced to taking a slow breather kind of every, has like a little 5-minute scene every now and then that really slows down. And it's fine taking a breather, but it slows down to such a point where it really feels like the movie just grinds to a complete and utter halt. And that's definitely not what you want with a film like John Wick. Overall, though, John Wick Chapter 3, it is a good movie, it's a decent movie, it's definitely a good time at the cinema. If you are looking for a great new addition to the John Wick series and to create your John Wick trilogy, you will definitely enjoy what Parabellum has to bring to the table. Again, the action and the set pieces in particular are some of the best in the franchise. The cinematography and the visual style of this movie is absolutely stunning, and just seeing Keanu Reeves kicking ass again is absolutely awesome, and you are not going to want to miss that. But like I say, I feel like there are some things that are kind of missing from this movie that don't quite make it the best in the franchise. I personally rank it higher than Chapter 2, but it doesn't quite come close to Chapter 1 for me, so this kind of goes smack bang in the middle of my John Wick trilogy. So have you guys seen John Wick Chapter 3? If you have, make sure to let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's have a conversation about this movie in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews from me, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again next time.